I'm Jacob Livingston, and this is my informative speech. Performance-enhancing drugs, also known as PEDs, have been rampant in the sports industry for decades. I am an athlete myself, and I have also done extensive research on this topic and wrote a paper about it. I want people to gain an insight from this speech showing that turning to PEDs can ruin your life, health, and career. Today I will be talking about why might someone turn to PED use, cases of PED use, and what are government and federations doing to stop it. So why might an athlete turn to performance-enhancing drugs? There can be a number of reasons for an individual to turn to these drugs. The individual might be an amateur trying to make it big, or he or she just wants to get that advantage in the game to try to make themselves feel better. Others might be addicted to the drug and want to use it just to get that edge. Or they also might be uneducated about the health risks, and then they think that they're invincible to using these drugs. Now I'll talk to you about some of the different cases of PED use. In the 1980s, during the Olympics, the East German team had evidence against them that most, if not all, athletes were using a drug called oral turinabol. They got this regularly prescribed by a sports physician because during the time there weren't many places to get this drug. It was only prescribed. Germany's team had won 126 medals during the games, and they were all illegally won. One recent case of PED use was a woman cyclist named Marie-Louise Caillie-Williams. She was 43 years old when she competed in the Pan American Games, and she won a golden medal. Years later, it was found that she had been using heptaminol doping during the time of the games, which helps with her cognitive sharpness. Since this was a more current case, she had used a different variant of the drug to slip past the drug tests. After it was discovered, she was sentenced to a 4-year ban on all athletics and lost the medal. But what are we doing to stop PED use? The World Anti-Doping Agency, also known as the WADA, was established in 1999 by the International Olympic Committee. This agency is the primary force against drug use. Every year, they release a banned list of certain drugs, like anabolic steroids, beta blockers, growth hormones, and more. Even with a banned list, athletes are still finding ways to gain an advantage in the sport that they are playing. But before the WADA, the IOC and the government was the main enforcer. Congress passed the Anti-Drug Abuse Act in 1986, which restricted all use and distribution of illegal drugs in America. But this has not stopped the PED use in sports. But today, we have talked about why someone might turn to drug use, some cases of drug use in sports, prevention of drugs. Doing these drugs can hurt your career and your health. Your health should be the most important thing. Please do not use these drugs, and thank you for listening.